The BBC's boss reacts to the crisis the corporation finds itself in, following allegations about an unnamed presenter. The Director General talked of changes within the BBC as police ask the broadcaster to pause its investigation.
These are clearly damaging to the BBC. It's not a good situation. The process was run, and we now need to take stock and review the process.
Tonight, we'll talk through the latest developments, also on the programme. Mortgage rates hit their highest level in 15 years. Both homeowners and renters will feel the impact.
This is beyond any economical repair, a complete waste of much-needed clinical space.
Floods, power cuts, crumbling walls. Our investigation into the NHS hospitals forced to close wards and cut services. Europe's facing record-breaking highs of 48 degrees Celsius. Alex will talk us through why and whether it's coming here, and
I'll sing it loud in case you don't already know.
fresh from Glastonbury, Kat Burns tells us why grassroots music venues are so important.
This is the ITV Evening News with Charlene White.
Good evening. BBC boss Tim Davie defended his organisation's handling of allegations against the BBC presenter accused of buying sexually explicit images from a young person. He said the allegations were serious and they were investigated, but are now being paused while police conduct their own inquiries. Mr Davie did, though, admit lessons needed to be learned. Tonight, there is a new allegation. A person has reportedly contacted BBC News saying they felt threatened by the presenter after they met online. And as Rebecca Barry reports, the longer it goes on, the more damaging it is for the BBC.
So much at stake with comparatively so few confirmed facts. The well-being of a vulnerable young person and their family, the career of a BBC presenter, and the reputation of a publicly funded corporation. So today, the BBC sought to give some clarification.
These are clearly damaging to the BBC. It's not a good situation.
On a day he should have been talking about record profits, the Director General was fielding questions about allegations a BBC presenter paid for sexually explicit images from a teenager.
Under my leadership, we will absolutely be as transparent as we can. The process was run, and we now need to take stock and review the process. What I want to do at this current point is calmly get through the investigation that the police need to make sure they're supported and get through making the right decisions and the balance between duty of care, privacy and a very serious allegation.
He's now ordered a review into how complaints are red flagged within the organisation. The BBC say on the 18th of May, the complainant, thought to be the mother of the young person, went to a BBC building to try and make a complaint. The next day, they contacted BBC Audience Services. The complaint was referred to the investigations team, who assessed it as serious but not an allegation of criminality. The same day, they emailed the complainant to verify the claims, but there was no reply. So on the 6th of June, a phone call was made to the mobile number provided, but the call didn't connect. It was only on Thursday, 7 weeks after the complaint, when The Sun contacted the BBC with criminal allegations, that the Director General and the presenter in question were made aware. On Sunday, the presenter was suspended, and yesterday, at the request of the police, the BBC paused their investigation while the police assess whether there's any evidence of a criminal offence. Even the Prime Minister in Lithuania for the NATO summit added his comments.
Obviously, they're very serious and concerning allegations, and that's why I'm pleased that the Culture Secretary spoke to the Director General of the BBC over the weekend and is confident that the BBC is investigating this both rigorously and rapidly. I think that's the right course of action.
This afternoon, BBC News reported claims from another person in their early 20s saying they'd felt threatened by messages they received online from the same BBC presenter after they met on a dating app.
Trust is, of course, at the foundation of the BBC, and today I asked the Director General why licence fee payers should still trust the corporation. He insisted he's committed to navigating this complex situation with care and diligence, and says he has faith that people will see the BBC is precious and doing the right thing.
It's now in the hands of the police to determine whether any laws have been broken.
Rebecca, as you mentioned, you were in that briefing with the Director General. So what do you think we learned from it?
Well, I think it was clear that the BBC was trying to calm things down today. Some details that really stood out for me. Tim Davie at pains to point out that the initial complaint was assessed as serious but not a criminal allegation. He says it was therefore right that the team try and verify it, to try and work out what they were dealing with before they contacted the presenter. Some might say they could have tried harder than a single email and a failed phone call. Meanwhile, this afternoon we've learnt that a police force contacted by the family back in April before they complained to the BBC have said that no criminality was identified at that time. But with yet more potentially damaging allegations emerging about the presenter this afternoon, you feel that this is not going to get easier for the BBC anytime soon.
OK, Rebecca, thanks very much.